Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another daily Chelsea news roundup on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. As usual, we keep it interactive here, but usually very brief in terms of how we take what we have in the chat. Today, there's nothing too much to talk about, so we chose to discuss how we believe, what we believe Chelsea must do to beat Tottenham tomorrow. But more importantly, again, we hope that you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Let's get into it immediately. The first person here, and he's a member, he's the Chart Nod member. And he's again, Glenn, big up a panel and chat, big up to you too, Glenn. I hope you're doing well. And Francis Winters says, big up everyone, big up to you too, Francis Winters. Francis also, we need to show passion and smash Tottenham. We need the fighting spirit. We need to show the derby spirit. We're not just going to get, I don't want to see that sort of passive, lethargic performance. We want to show fighting spirit to be able to beat them. Smash the like up again and let's again have it right. Yes, we when remember we have the membership. We have, I think, 2, 3 membership right now. If you haven't, again, take a second, check it out again. Join the membership, which means even if we have a million people in the chat, if we see your comment or your contribution, we'll highlight it, read it, and those on the panel will talk about it. Yes, again, my brother, a Chelsea session, Ty Talk says, smash the like button, people. I should join. The likes to go a long way. And if you haven't, go check out check out Ty's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Big up to all Chelsea fans. Patrick Kaku, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Potter out again. Yep, again, your opinion, and I feel the same too. But I'm not going to be going around and be yelling Potter out because it doesn't change anything. Big up, coach, and to the Blues family. Philip Smith, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Helgi, a top guy. That is Ingrid Media. Bigging you up there.
Thank you very
So,
much. Yeah.
Helgi, yeah, big up to you, Ingrid. Helgi, let me start by asking you, are you looking forward to this one? Because for a while now, a lot of Chelsea fans, when you ask them, they tell you point blank they're not looking forward to Chelsea games. In some cases, they even go again to the length of telling you we're losing this one. But your thoughts? Are you looking forward to this game? I want to know, really.
Yeah, sentimentally I am, but realistically I'm not. So it's a case of trying to find a balance between the two, and I'm always try to keep myself positive before our games. But this
Hmm.
is a very unusual situation. We know how radical the things have been in terms of performances and results, and tomorrow is a kind of game that you need to have the team totally alert and totally up for it, considering the history, the weight of the game,
Hmm.
the opportunity to start a winning run, because it can be a very good source of boost in terms of psychological point of view. But considering the circumstances where we are, and considering how and against which team we got our last defeat, which for me was the final straw regarding my stance on Graham Potter, I'm a very passionate person, but
Hmm.
as I said, I have never felt and experienced something like that during all these years I've been supporting the club. So realistically speaking, I can't avoid the sense of pessimism, but hopefully I get proven wrong and we are up for it and we show, and not necessarily um, a performance of trying to paper over the cracks, because sometimes you can get away with it through individual brilliance. We could have done it against Dortmund, but structurally I have many criticism of what I saw against Dortmund. So tomorrow we need both a top performance and the equally top result against a team. Uh,
And just quickly, if you're in the chat, let me know. Just quickly, sorry to cut you off. If you're in the chat, let me know if you're looking forward to this one or if you're concerned, and let us know whatever your concern is. But go ahead, Hauke. Sorry for
Yeah,
cutting you
so
off.
that's the thing. So from a sentimental point of view, of course, because I'm a Chelsea fan, and particularly this kind of game, it's perfect to have a turnaround and then start a winning run.
Hmm.
But realistically, it's tough, and I get all those who have the pessimism and the sense of, the sense of apathy before such a game, considering that we have underperformed against team that we should have supposed to beat. So yeah, there is a mixture, blend. It's a bittersweet feeling at the moment, but the game will tell.
Yeah, the game will tell indeed. Again, to me, I'm not sure how to feel. I'm not sure what to expect. Because if we had performed consistently, then it'd be easy to say again, this is
No.
what I'm expecting tomorrow. It's been ups and downs. It's been lukewarm. Again, tomorrow you see us put in a brilliant performance in the first half, and then maybe lose the game in the second half and all that. So
Mm.
there's no telling what will happen. As much as I want my team to win, I cannot come out and say uh, again, say, yeah, we're winning that game tomorrow, even after looking at the statistics. But that's, by the way, again, if you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. To all Blues fans, let's have faith in our club and get behind them. We can win the game tomorrow. Yes, I'm not saying again we can win it actually, but I want to know if you're in the chat. Let us know. Are you looking forward to the game? While again we get into looking again before we talk about the next question. If you're in the chat, let us know if you think we can win the game. If you feel yes, we can win the game, let us know why you think we can win. If you think we cannot win the game, let us know why you think we cannot win the game. Helgi, coming back to you, we're here to talk about what we must do to beat Tottenham tomorrow. It's a London derby. If we win that game and win it convincingly,
Mhm.
even if we win by a lone goal, it will be again. It will do us a world of good. It will be a confidence booster. It will go a long way. Given the team, Tottenham is a big team. I know. Again, we when it comes to banter, we say we're better than them. What structure or formation, if you prefer, would be better? You think would be better suited for that game?
Yeah, I have been saying since Thomas Tuchel was here that three at the back was a solution, not a problem to our personnel. We
Hmm.
have been discussing together in many streams last season when people were debating that Thomas is trying to follow a more cautious approach to our to our tactical approaches in general. But the reality is that he papered over many cracks by playing three at the back, considering that our wing players aren't reliable at all, and we didn't have a typical defensive midfielder. So, um, continuing in this logic, I think that we should go three at the back tomorrow. The question is that it's much more complex than that because it has to do a lot with interpretation. So we saw we played three at the back against Salzburg away, and it was effective from in terms of our attacking play, in terms of creating chances. We are fluid, and although we conceded space in transition, we still won the game and could have scored more than two goals. Fast forward 3 days later, or four, I'm not so sure now, against Brighton, we follow the same strategy with attacking players at wing backs, Sterling and Pulisic, and we got dismantled from a defensive point of view against Brighton. So it has to do a lot with the interpretation more than the shape itself in principle. So I hope that we interpret in a way that avoids us from conceding on the counter, and that's what I fear a lot because we have done it against teams that haven't been as prepared as we can face tomorrow, even in the games beyond
Here's
tomorrow.
the thing. Here's
So
again two problems with the three. Yeah,
yeah, I'm saying that Antonio Conte's team
yeah.
are they are
Here's the
known for counter
thing is
attacking.
again two problems. Go ahead if you were still
Yeah,
talking. Sorry.
just to finish the argument, we have struggled a lot in terms of defensive transitions and have lost a lot of space. And I'm quite worried with how frequently the opposition teams come into our defensive third. And considering that this has been a
Hmm.
problem against less organized, more chaotic teams, I expect it to be a problem against a team that relies a lot on counter-attacking, a team managed by Antonio Conte, and particularly Tottenham, that have players that can be dangerous in transition. So that's what we have to avoid first and foremost. So the interpretation will be key, and this has to be seen tomorrow.
Here's the thing. You referenced the Salzburg game. Did
Yeah.
you really pay attention to the numbers? I think if you did, I don't think you'd advocate us again approaching the game against Tottenham the way we did again in the game against Salzburg because we were actually lucky. They had more XG
Yeah,
than us.
absolutely.
Again, you could say I wouldn't say Kepa was the savior on the day, but it was a dangerous approach. And I don't know during the post game show on Chelsea Perspective, we did talk about that Salzburg game at length. We looked at the numbers, and the argument was that look, it doesn't make any sort of sense. If he tries that approach in the Premier League, we will be demolished.
Yeah,
And
that's
boom, the
why I
next game,
pointed
yeah,
it
and the
out.
next game again, it happens. The next game was Brighton, and he
Yeah,
tried the same approach, and we got demolition. Here's the thing: we had only three recognized defenders against
yeah,
Salzburg,
yeah, exactly.
and here again, so I wouldn't advocate us again going with a three at the back structure approach. If we do that in the Premier League, especially a well drilled Tottenham, that again predominantly, I don't think if I've ever seen them switch to another structure. They've always played a three at the back with a three at
Yeah,
the back approach. They hardly change. So if we try to match them structure for structure, we're in serious trouble. So that structure against Salzburg, it didn't really work. If you look at the number, let me see if I find it. Numbers again, again in our game from our game against Salzburg, you see actually we were lucky to have come out with a win in that game. I think did we win that game? We won 2-1, didn't we?
to one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
again,
know. Kepa was comfortable in many attacking moves of them, many crosses. During corners, we were particularly vulnerable, and
yeah.
that's
Plus
why I
they
pointed
weren't
it out that
clinical.
it's only about the attacking aspect of the game, which was fluid. But the defensive one, I pointed defensive transitions, we have been quite bad.
Yeah. Plus Salzburg they weren't clinical. So
Yeah,
if they were clinical on that day, so that was why again we talked about it during the post game show, and we prayed that he doesn't deploy the same structure against Brighton, and he did again. You saw what happened. So I wouldn't advocate for that to happen. Plus, there's another issue with that again, three at the back structure. Let's look at this here. Let me just show you on the screen. If you look at this structure here, let's say this one here. Can you see it?
yeah.
Now, if he plays with not this one, I think it's this one. If he plays with a three at the back structure, which means he has to play with wing backs, and we
Yeah.
have James, yeah, let's say James here, and we have again Kukurea or maybe Ben Chilwell here. And when that happens, what is he going to do with the traditional wingers we have in the person of Mudryk and Madueke? He then have to play them as a 2-8 because if he tries to still play them as wingers here, there will be confusion like we saw the day. I don't think if that was what he tried to do. The day again, Mason Mount was actually fighting for the same position. It just seemed as if they confused him and Mudryk. So I wouldn't advocate this structure. And if he does this, which means he'd have to change it up here. It's not going to be 2-1. He ends with a 1-2 to accommodate a 10 in Joao Felix. So playing with a three at the back structure creates two problems. Tottenham, they're better drilled than us to play with that structure, and I don't think we can match them. That's my biggest concern. So I think I'd rather him go with a 4-2-3-1. And again, the 4-2-3-1 structure, that's what we've played mostly of recent, and we've had a good defensive record. That it has helped us again solidify the defense. So it wouldn't make sense to go back to a back three. To all Blues fans, I think I've read that one. Thank you. Thank you for the chat earlier, Coach. Again, let's talk football. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. I don't remember what chat you're referring to, but you can educate me. Hello, Coach, and everyone in the chat. Again, good luck to us today. Okay, again, it depends on where you are. 1 a.m. for you here in Dubai. Gabriel Keita, nice to see you, brother. It's been a minute. Please do let me know you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. I want to know, again, that means a lot to me. Again, I've been, again, with Chelsea for about 45 years and been with the Blues through ups and downs. We'll get through this together. Chelsea to win a 2-1. I think, I'm going to say this. If we start with a four at the back structure, I don't think we'd concede. We'll only concede if we try to match them structure for structure. That's when it probably will struggle. Kimso, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I know probably very late for you. Please do let me know, more importantly, that you're doing well. I just hope, again, Chelsea turns their fortunes tomorrow. I hope so. It will go a long way. Chisala. Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's Talk Football. Again, hopefully we'll talk about collapse soon. So, Helgi, other than, again, a three at the back structure, what other structure do you think will be better suited for that game? Because we need a result.
Yeah, the issue is that we have a difference in opinion here because I fear a lot regarding the back structure, considering how we have played so far, and especially the 4-2-3-1 can create underloads in the center. If we can refer to the Dortmund game, we had Enzo and Loftus-Cheek being outnumbered, and even in the wings we were equally outnumbered. So I mean, it would be persisting on something that hasn't worked so far, and not trying to be more cynical than needed in terms of our interpretation of defensive games so far. But I feel that we haven't played against teams that have threatened us a lot in terms of how they have approached the games. If we
Mm,
see, let's see, for example, since Badiashile joined, and I credit him a lot with our clean sheets that we have had so far, because structurally the same worries. I share the same worries. The thing is that against Liverpool, the game was too chaotic. It wasn't a qualitative game of football from a neutral point of view. Against
mhm.
Fulham, they set out to draw. They even their manager even said after the game that he was happy to have got 4 points out of us. So their approach was clearly an counter-attacking one. And then against Dortmund, they got the goal the way they got it, and then kept defending and defending. So, and in the first 30 minutes or the first half as a whole, they were very aggressive in their approach and very risky in transition. Thiago was doing very well with clearances after clearances, which isn't sustainable at the top level. So and now we had West Ham, the same problem after those 15-20 minutes, and Southampton, of course, who for me didn't have a kind of tactical elaboration, but still managed to beat that at home. So the reality is that I feel that it's not the right strategy anymore, and I get your worries that we can't match them. Thomas Tuchel showed that he could with his hybrid
Go ahead.
four
Go ahead. 1 second. Go ahead.
and 3-4-2-1 formation, but it relies more on the interpretation, in my opinion, rather than on the system in principle. So maybe we can't match them in terms of the time that they have been working under this sort of strategy from a tactical point of view, but I don't feel that we can go anywhere further with a further back formation, particularly now that Jorginho has left. And I have been a fan of him, despite agreeing to an extent that he isn't the best profile that we may have in terms of the defensive liabilities that he could show in certain games. But still, he was a very calm presence and could ensure ball retention against teams that really compress the space, especially from a center point of view, and teams that counter press very effectively. So without him, for me, the importance of playing a further back season decreases even more. And it's not. It's actually difficult in general to talk about systems because we aren't doing the basics at the moment. So it's not a case of us doing stuff right, showing patterns of play, and saying we have to play this system against this kind of opponent and another system against another kind of opponent. We aren't getting what kind of football we are trying to play yet. So that's the harsh truth, in my opinion. But for tomorrow, I stick to my opinion that it's necessary to play a three at the back. Although I get your worries that in terms of the application, they may be more used to this system and may outwork us. But
And it would be difficult to accommodate, again, our best players, if that makes sense to you. Like, I think we looked at it. I'm gonna try to explain again. Usually when Thomas Tuchel or Graham Potter does this, just like he did against Salzburg, he played wingers in the wing
yeah,
back
we
position.
shouldn't play wingers. I think
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So once you accommodate wing backs here, then the only space you have is either that you play two nines or you play two eights, but this guy's dropping deep and again having a lone nine here. And if anything, again, if you play them here, then wing backs are useless. If you try
Absolutely.
again, if they hog the flanks, if this guy's here, if this guy's in the back three, if they hog the flanks, then the wing backs will be useless. Then it will be you could say it will be again there will be an unnecessary, you could say unnecessary overlaps here. Again, the roles will be overlapping, and I don't think it will work. That's why I say it's a risk. You could say right now, even though we haven't won a game in a while, you can argue we have a bit of stability at the back line. We have we've achieved defensive solidity. We're not conceding too much, and that's a good thing. So if he switches it, I think there will be a bit of confusion. And to play in the back three, I think he has to accommodate either Wesley Fofana here or Rich James drops here and someone else plays here, which causes a bit of confusion too because Wesley Fofana isn't fully fit. I don't know if you get I understand where you're coming from. And Graham Potter, whenever he plays with the back three, he plays that with an attacking intent. You can't call it again five defenders under Thomas Tuchel or under Graham Potter. So that's why again it will mean that we're playing with three defenders and playing with just three recognized defenders without having a traditional six. We're not sure again. We don't have two again any sixes available that can protect the three defenders. If that makes sense. I don't know if my argument makes sense now.
But we can equally say that we don't have a fix to protect the back four. So it works the same way. When you have a four, you need that six more because you don't have the protection from the wing backs that create a five. So I'm categorically against the option of playing attackers in the wing. It would be a disaster. But the reality is that the attack is what I'm thinking now, and one option could be playing Felix as a false nine with any of the
we will get to that area. Again, the argument right now is the structure. Let me get what we have in the chat. Coach, again, do you think Aubameyang should start tomorrow? He is the only number 9 that we have, and he is proven to score in the Premier League and against the Spurs. The question is whether he'd actually be again part of the squad tomorrow. I don't know.
It's unrealistic. But
yeah,
I would have started him.
Yeah, you can argue something isn't quite right. We don't know what it is. For him to be in Milan playing a five-a-side game while his teammates were, again, training, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Even if he had a break and he had to travel that distance to be playing, and it was on camera that he was playing, it doesn't look like he's actually, you could say, willing to play for the team again, if that makes sense. But let's see what happens. Kashawn, the New York guy, big up to you. And Kashawn, reach out to me. Let me know if you want to be part of this show, and I'll book you in one of those again the days. It's a 2-panelist show. Or again, if it wasn't, you'd have all OGs here, Bobby, and again everybody at the same time. But it's a 2-panelist show, and you have to book a spot. Gabriel Keita says, "I'm doing good. Again, being in the chat, always on the channel. I know, but again, were you there in the morning today?" At work again, and I listened to this wonderful channel. And thanks for asking, Coachella. I appreciate it. Again, more importantly, the good thing is to hear that you're doing well. And Francis Winter says again, we haven't lost against them since 2018. That's when I'm concerned. That's when I'm concerned because it's a Chelsea thing. I don't know if you should call it again the charity FC factor. For instance, you remember in the case of Arsenal, they've been losing game. They've lost 1 million games, and if they lose against us, it will be 100. And again, they can say again 1 million, one game that they've lost, and then we end up looking. Then they beat us. So I'm not banking on that. And recent form shows actually they're in better form than we do, and we will look at that in a bit. Here's again. I honestly think Aubameyang will be a different player with the players. Again, he would have behind him. But here's what comes to mind. The club tried to push him out, even willing to pay his salary for him to join LAFC. That tells you quite a lot. And here's my brother, again, Bobby Smoke is the signal, big up brother. And he says, smash the like button and support the channel. The likes do go a long way. Keep liking the video, guys. Again, it does go a long way. And Eugene Nutty, my bro, always says the truth and never cares. Big up everyone. Coach, again, sorry for late. Again, I watched Vikings Valhalla. It's a good show. It's a good show on Netflix. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't like a football with classic number nines. Again, it's becoming an old thing. If we're being honest, Potter doesn't like to play three at the back. If even when he does, he plays it with an attacking intent where he deploys wingers in the wing back position.
Oh,
If that makes sense. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, he liked a lot to play that way at Brighton.
Yeah.
But as I said, he loves to experiment a lot, and there he had the territory to do so because he was mid-table. So, it's that comfort zone between the ninth place and the 14th, 15th place. It makes no difference in substance. So it gives the manager more flexibility to shuffle a lot, and he is more restricted here due to the expectations and the level of pressure. So his interpretation is not only attacking when he plays through the back, but he's also adventurous too experimental. Maybe now he may be forced to do that because what we have seen so far hasn't worked, but I don't think that it will have substance.
Okay. And Terrace and Tip says again, Wagwan people, Wagwan to you too, brother. I can't complain at all. Thanks to Almighty God. I hope you're doing well. Jobless and big up, blessings to you. And here, Lady Tanasha Chingosho, how are you all doing? I'm doing well. How about you, brother? Again, please, as you arrive, and make sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Uncle Terrace here. I am 80 years old, Chelsea fan. Wow. Wow, much respect, much respect. Guns to you. Again, thank you for joining. He says, I am the real OG. Of course, again, if you're 80, you're the real OG here. Smash the like button, people can do the coach a favor. Yes, thank you so much. And if you can afford it, we have a membership. Again, you can join. It costs just a $2.99 a month. And if you have that membership, whenever we have too many people in the chat, once you put a comment that's aligned with the current topic in the chat, the host will highlight it and the panelists will analyze it or answer your question if that makes sense. Yeah, you can see join. Click on it and join if you want to. Watching live from Nairobi, Kenya. Big up to you, brother. Thank you so much. I hope the Kenyan people are good. Sports again to the rescue tomorrow. Dr. Sports to the rescue tomorrow. Let's see. Leslie, what's your thoughts on Aubameyang? Okay, you're having a conversation with someone there. I always prefer players for fluid formation. I do that too. The Germans have changed the world of football in terms of preferring a fluid attack rather than having a traditional number 9. The reason I don't like that, if you have a traditional number 9, it simply means again once you get to the fight, your team gets to the final third, you'll be channeling all your goal scoring chances through a single individual. Sterling is our best player. The most experienced, again, I hope, but he hasn't proven it, again, done anything for me to argue that he's our best player. Helgi, coming back to you, still want to elaborate on the structure? I think the best structure will be 4-2-3-1. We've been able to achieve defensive solidity because in the last 5 up to 6 games now, I think the most has happened, again, when he deployed a hybrid approach. I think we've played mainly with a 4 at the back structure with 2 6s. I think at one time he played 4-3-3, I think. That was 3 games ago. So I think 4-2-3-1 is the best structure here. It accommodates a 10. It accommodates a 10 here. It accommodates a 9, but usually still a fluid approach because 1, 2, 3, 4, they can rotate places. 2 6s, again, whether it depends, again, on who he wants to pick. I think this is the better structure because we've achieved, I'm going to repeat myself again, we've achieved defensive solidity with this structure, and I think we'll be better off playing against sports like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I said that we see it from different perspectives in this regard because I feel we'll be exposed, especially without, as I said, we don't have Jorginho, don't have somebody that can really make up for a back 4. And despite the fact that we haven't conceded much in terms of result, I'm not comfortable with what I've seen for us when we lose the ball and how how vulnerable we have been in transition, in terms of how frequently the opposition teams come to our defensive third, and that's a problem. And I have a feeling we have relied on individuals. We need something that is more systematic. You can easily distinguish when the defense is solid because of the system, and when the defense is solid because one or a certain member of the back line is making up for the others. And that's why I got the Dortmund game as a reference. In the first 10 minutes or in the 20-30 minutes, when Thiago Silva was doing, he was positionally great. So even Badiashil's presence has added a lot to that quality, but I need to see something more systematic. And I feel that we are in a position that we need to change something, and have a feeling that we'll go with 3 at the back tomorrow. Now, whether
Okay, let's see.
I'll be
Just
right
remember,
or not,
if he plays with the 4 at the back tomorrow,
yeah.
you do 50 push-up on camera.
But it's it's
Yeah, and if he goes with the 3 at the back
fair.
structure, and I'll do 50 push-up on camera, do we have a deal?
No, it's not it's not fair.
Is it not fair? No. Again, I like the debate here, but again, I've showed you the reason I think it will cost
No,
him
I'm
if he
joking, really,
switches.
but
No, I know. If he switches to a back 4, a back 3 tomorrow, it will cause him more problems in terms of players, personnel selection.
well,
Plus, on
maybe
the
you
pitch, I
see
think we'll
from
struggle
an
to. But
attacking
go ahead.
point of view. From
Go
an
ahead.
attacking point of view, you may think that Mudryk or Madueke get isolated in this way, right? With the 3 at the back.
No, not with the 3 at the back. Actually, yeah, they get isolated in the sense they practically don't have a place in
They
the
don't
team.
have the wide areas to go towards the byline.
Exactly, it will be choked up. There will be no space there, so it doesn't make any sort of sense to go with that approach. If anything, I
But
see Graham Potter going with
if
a good
we
approach.
play with a 3-4-1-2, and or even if 3-4-2-1, and those in the attack interchange. So there are many cases when I'm winding the clock back now, when Eden Hazard would play as a 9 and Willian and Pedro would play more inverted. Now both of them can play. You love the touch line, but still the fact is that they could play inverted as well if they interchange. So there is flexibility if Havertz is on the bench and Felix starts as a more advanced guy, at least on paper, and then considering the flow of the game, they can interchange and they can swap the responsibilities in terms of who will keep the width and who will be more advanced in the center in different attacking moves. It's not rare in football. Actually, I think this would cause problems to the Tottenham's back line, because it can, if they play with a 3 at the back, we can match them with an attacking 3. And
But
also,
are we drilled? Are we drilled to play that structure? When last did we play that structure? That's the factors I'm considering.
but that's something that
We're already
yeah,
confused. We're
the
already so
manager.
just let me say this quickly. We already play like, again, we haven't played together for 1,000 years. So if he switches again from a back 4, from the structure we play predominantly, to a back 3 structure, it creates more confusion. The players may well end up being more confused. That's my argument. But go ahead.
Okay, but the thing is that we haven't seen anything beneficial from the back, despite the fact that we haven't conceded
We've
a
achieved
lot.
defensive solidity. Really, we've defended better
Well,
than we've done for a while.
I
But go ahead.
relate it more to the personnel, actually. Badiashile has contributed a lot to it, because I want to distinguish not conceding goals due to the structure, and not conceding goals due to the addition of a certain defender over somebody else. And that's, I haven't seen enough. Maybe I may be wrong if the game goes tomorrow and we show defensive solidity as a whole. But the approaches that the opposition we have faced have shown, I feel that they have been too conservative to draw a conclusion from. So we haven't faced teams that are dynamic, either proactive or counter-attacking. They have been too restrictive, and sometimes they haven't been good enough to apply their game like Liverpool were, or Fulham or West Ham came to, they were pleased with the draw. So from this point of view, the quality of the opposition, with all due respect, in my opinion, hasn't been the sufficient one to draw a clear conclusion from, to say that we absorbed the pressure, we played the offside trap perfectly, the defenders were cohesive against each other, among each other. Sorry, so it's all about, you know, being under pressure, conceding crosses, the other opposition being frequently in our defensive third, and the experience of Thiago Silva and the composure of Badiashile have helped us a lot. Maybe I'm prejudging at this moment, but this is a sentiment I have got, and maybe it can change if we show improvement in the successive games that we have now, starting from tomorrow. But I can't distract anything conclusive from what I have seen so far from, with the four at the back. Actually, I'm
All
trying
right.
to see us how will we do as a structure, as a line, not individually against, and because I have seen the experience of Thiago Silva in particular has helped in this kind of scenarios. I want
Mhm.
us to be more in control, and I haven't seen that against the teams that we have played now. They haven't been threatening enough. Which shows how bad we have been. But tomorrow is a test. Above all, we play against a team that it's not the best possible team that we can play, but they are good at countering. So if we have a structure tomorrow, and especially against Son and Kane, who are very prolific attacking players and of good form, then I have may hold my hands up and say, yes, we are changing as a structure, as a whole. The line has been improving. But and finally, to move to the next point, but just to finish, the argument of whether I will drilled or not in this particular system, it's something that we don't see because you don't get drilled during games. You know, this is something that has to be prepared in the training ground. And if a manager doesn't have a plan B, then it's unacceptable at this level in particular. So I think that there always is a plan, but how we execute it, that's what the game will show.
All right. Again, Glenn, I see you in the chat. Glenn, you're one of those that's advocating for us to play with a back three. I want to get your thoughts on how you think that will work, and whether you're not concerned whether we'll see the players look confused again. We've already played this back four for how many games right now? And again, I think it has helped us achieve a defensive solidity. But so, Glenn, I want to know, you talked about the back going for back three in the morning. Why you think that will help us beat Tottenham tomorrow? Again, if you're watching, thank you for 22 likes. Let's get it to 30 as soon as possible. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Eugene says that's why I don't like Osimhen. And maybe I think you better say that's why you don't want us to sign Osimhen. As much as I get it, Osimhen has a better touch than Lukaku, probably a better player, will become a better player than Lukaku. Lukaku is just more experienced, but he's played all his life as a traditional number nine, even though he's capable of doing more, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. Put Mudryk on the right hand side, it can work, but let's see what Graham Potter does. That's the thing. Mudryk looks like a flop. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion right now. We need to play three at the back. Why? You just can't say we need to play three at the back. Explain why you think that is what we walk. That's what I want to hear. You can't just say. And by the way, the Chelsea boy, 1234. Nice to see you, brother. It's been a while. Yeah, do let me know how you're doing. Again, yeah, if you say we need to play three at the back, tell us why you think we need to play three at the back. You can't just say that for the sake of saying it. Zilch, again, it needs to play. And I know you mean Ziyech. He may well play, and he's done quite well against Spurs. Hello, Constantine. Constantine, more importantly, hello to you too. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Glenn, big up my brother. Again, I appreciate you. My Belgian brother, very quiet in here. Constantine Dante in the chat. I'm guessing that's what you're saying. Again, this is the second episode of this particular show. So yeah, most people don't know we have the show, but I think it's picking up as quicker than I actually suspected. Well, again, that's the issue with switch information and players a lot. If you switch information, chances are they get even more confused. It doesn't help. We've achieved defensive solidity with the forward back structure. That's my argument. I think we were forced again to a back four due to injuries again and the deep in form of Chalobah. Let's see if he does otherwise tomorrow. But remember, Helge agrees if we play with the four at the back structure tomorrow, he would do push up on camera. And if we play with a three at the back structure tomorrow, I would do push up on camera. Smash the like button, people, says my brother Philip Smith. Now again, and help the channel grow. And if you want, you can become a member again to have certain privilege. Again, everybody's equal here, but with a membership, you have certain privilege because then again, Reese and Chile can create chances. They can still do that as fullbacks, can't they, Helgi? They can still do that as fullbacks. They can.
Well, but they have to cover more distance,
more grounds, yeah,
to the attack as wingbacks. You know,
and you think they cannot?
They can. The thing is that if they play as wingbacks, they are.
Go ahead. Just give me 1 second. Go ahead.
To contribute to the attack. So, Reese and Chile can create chances, in my opinion, better if we play a three at the back, because if they play as fullback, they get restricted in an attacking sense, and that's my argument on the matter. So, of course, we categorically deny that he should play with attackers as wingbacks, but what I agree with is that playing Greece and Chile can both add cover to the defensive back three, and also they can contribute even more as wingbacks rather than as fullbacks, because there are more distances to cover, more defensive responsibility to have. Imagine that you have the right center back and the left center back at last if you get exposed in transition, but if you play as a fullback, then you have to do all the wide.
They have to cover more grounds, like you said.
Sorry?
They have to cover more grounds, like you said. If they play as fullbacks, yeah.
And not only covering more ground, but they are more, let's say, on their own in the defense, in a defensive sense. You may argue that the one of the center backs can split, but it's quite risky. So for me, three at the back adds more protection. But all the discussion we are doing now, it's in principle, and the way it's interpreted, it's totally different in different scenarios, and that's what I'm more intrigued to see tomorrow. But that's that's the thing. That's the reason why. And somebody mentioned Raheem Sterling in the comment, and I think Sterling can easily start tomorrow because he is well suited to playing in a more central position as well. So we can make up for the issue of trying to accommodate the wing players. You may not start with them from the first minute, so you can go with Sterling and either Ziyech or Mudryk or Madueke. It can be an adaptation, and you can also play with Felix up top, so they can interchange, and can be very confusing for Tottenham's backline. I don't trust Havertz for tomorrow. I think he has overhead his chances and hasn't been as effective as I would have liked him to be.
Right.
People at stats say that he has had good stats, created chances, but eye test doesn't, align well, and that's where the misconnection exists. So for me, he shouldn't start tomorrow.
All right, let me catch up with what we have in the chat. And my brother here, Bobby Fairview, and then good argument right there. But I think he creates more problem. Then it makes it difficult to accommodate 100 million pounds Mudryk, and also 35 million pounds once again Noni Madueke, except if they play as 2-8. My brother and friend here, I am in favor of a back three only because again it's what worked for TT. Again, it utilizes the strength of our wing backs and compensates again for the defensive frailties of the midfield. Really, I think that's why again the more we talk about this, the more it comes to mind that really we all do see things from a different lenses. But I get the argument. And my brother Glenn, I says I'd just like to see Chile and Reese on the wings again, and now that they have the link up. Okay, maybe that works again. Left wing and right wing in four at the back aren't getting involved enough. But my concern is again, I don't want to see them confused even more if we switch to that structure. And Eugene, be careful how you use emoji. I hated to see it again. The robot delete your messages. We need to play three at the back. Wow, I think I'm losing this fight. Three at the back, and because again, I need to get Reece James and Chilwell down the flanks. Okay. Again, it is not again a back three. I'm not too bad at. Again, if it is not, I'm not too bad at. Again, it's just an option. And you think it's gonna help us to be more attacking than defensive? They have been invisible in a back four. That's a solid argument from Dante there. Eugene says again, the detective season, true detective season 3, 10-10. Okay, just you give him the shows now to watch. I think so. Again, even Havertz will benefit because more crosses in. At least again, he is pretty good in the air. He is. Constantine Dante, I think I've lost this battle. Chelsea fans hated the three at the back because it's too conservative, and probably because they feel when again. Here's the thing about Chelsea fans. Helge, I don't know if you paid attention to that argument. If they see wingers in the wing back position, they assume that the manager has been too defensive. They don't know. They don't know it's actually with an attacking intent. So at least that's how they understand football.
It's a very linear argument. I have been here and also on Twitter. I have tried to tell people, that it's a case of interpretation. So you can
and
play
the application. The application is what matters.
We won the Champions League by playing very attacking football in this way. Even Luis van Gaal had the collab with the Netherlands national team, I think 1 or 2 weeks after we won the Champions League, and he publicly said that you can very well attack with a 3 at the back, and he said hats off to Mr. Tuchel for demonstrating it.
And that was when again I think he said that when a clueless journalist asked a question. Portraying it as a defensive approach, and Van Gaal responded telling him it's actually more attacking. But people they don't look at structures beyond the surface level. They just see anybody in the wing back position is a defender. But go ahead.
Yeah, they just interpret it as rather than having 5 defenders than 4 defenders, which is a very linear kind of logic, and it's all about interpretation, because we shaped up with a 3 at the back under Antonio Conte in the second season, and we are too negative. It became a 5-4-1 in principle, just trying to play the long ball to Eden Hazard, so like football of the previous century. While the interpretation under Tuchel was very proactive. We won every game on XG. We won in turn. Eye test, was like fulfilled in the sense that we enjoyed the games a lot. So if you know how to interpret it, then you can use it to overload the defensive line of the opposition by playing 5 attackers. And this argument, to elaborate further, it's something that in-game situations you can see even Pep doing it. He uses a system that he sends the 2 number 8s forward, and he can create a 5 with the 2 wingers, 2 number 8s, and the center forward, and it practically becomes the same, like 2-3-5 or 3-5. Even Klopp does it at Liverpool, but he doesn't send the 2 number 8s forward, but he sends he inverts the wingers and has the fullbacks to keep the byline, usually Robertson and Arnold, that have been doing it for years.
Yeah, so, just quickly, I want to come back. I want to come back to this particular one. Whether you think again you want him to start again, just give me a second. 3-4-3 with Felix on center forward. It's a very possible approach again. A 5-2, a 3 again, and 3-4-4. Yeah, there are again multitudes of again, 3.
Our owners would be proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they will like that one. Midfield
Yeah,
three again. Felix centre forward and Stalin and Mudryk on again on the flanks. Again a 3-4 again a 2-1 again or 3-4 if we want to accommodate the 10 maybe 3-4-1-2 but 3-4-2-1 which means the 2-8 again it still makes sense again but before you I agree with you. Here's the one I want to come back to. Do you think Raheem Sterling starts tomorrow or do you think no? Or do you think he should start? Because we're
Yes,
saying we're
I,
here to say
I
again this
would.
is what just 1 second we're here to say this is what Chelsea needs to do to beat Tottenham. Do you think he should start or do you think he should sit out?
No, he should. I think he should start because
Over who?
uh, over one of the attack
No,
over
you
Mudryk.
have to be specific.
Okay, over Mudryk. Actually, I think he needs to be benched again because if we play three at the back, I don't feel that he will. You know, it's in a phase of playing. He loves the byline, so I don't think it's a kind of game for him. Yes, he is versatile from what I have read to the time at Ajax to at Shakhtar, sorry. But the thing is that Sterling is very well equipped and can build on the that flashes of aggression that he showed against Southampton. So if we play as a in 3-4-2-1, he can be very well equipped to play as a more inverted attacker, as a left, in the half space, in the left half space, and then playing either Ziyech or Madueke, and that's where my concerns lie because I don't think that he will experiment with Mudryk on the right, considering that Mudryk has had his struggles so far and has had his both positive and negative moments. I think he'll go for a recognized right winger, but either Ziyech or Madueke, I don't know who will he go for. And I think Madueke would make sense if we play with Felix up top because Ziyech's trademark cross is the one that he has a half turn and then crosses towards the far post with his left, and usually you need to have a tall attacker there. So, basing on the logic that he could bench Havertz, I think that we should play with Sterling, Madueke, and Felix.
All right, again, Felix Smith, I see your comment. See you tomorrow, brother. Again, take good care of yourself and thank you for finding the time to join the show. And remember, if you haven't, if you want to be a member, again, the channel member, if you can afford it, go ahead. It will help the channel and it will help the channel prepare for something I want the community wants to be doing for students every month. Again, the membership will help. So, Felix Smith, much love. Again, the application is what defines what it is. The application is what says whether it's 2-8 or 2-10s, if that makes sense to you. Again, when Starling needs to start that again, you know that Chelsea is in trouble. Do the simple thing, 8, and we can beat Spurs. Let's see what happens. Neither Mudryk or Madueke have shown us enough for us to start building a formation around them, no matter how badly we overpaid. I'm not saying we should build formation around them. I'm just being cautious. Let's not, again, switch, structure and then end up confusing the players even more because already when they're on the pitch, it just seems like there's no measure of coordination there. I want all the smoke on Sunday. Bring on Son and Kane. Let's see what happens again. I want to see us again. I want to see the derby spirit. We played Fulham. I didn't see the derby spirit. We played Arsenal. I didn't see the derby spirit. We played Crystal Palace. We beat them, but I did not see the derby spirit on the day. Coach, I've got to go. I will be back tomorrow. See you tomorrow, brother. Much love. And thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Madueke has been a solid. I think he's done well. But he will only improve. Better to play with right-footed on the left. Again, on left side. Again, and you're the same person arguing that we should play again Mudryk on the right side. Mudryk is right-footed, isn't he? Like Sancho in Dortmund over Valverde in Real Madrid, and it did say over or Valverde in Real Madrid again. But we need to change the structure because this does not work. Has not in again like in 15 games, but at least again we've achieved defensive solidity with that. Hello again, Anise sent me. I have subscribed. Big up to you, Patrick Bettman. Pop, 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 pop. Much love to you, brother, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. So coming back to you, Helgi, the 2 6s. Because no matter again, if we go with 4-2-3-1, still 2 6s. If we go with again 3-4, again it's still 2-6, except if we go with 4-3-3. Your argument. I want to hear your argument, your choice. Who you think pairs Enzo in the midfield? Who I want to hear your solid argument. If you're in the chat, I want to hear your argument. Let's assume Denis Zakaria is fit, but I don't think N'Golo Kante is ready. So count Denis Zakaria, count Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Who again? I think those two. So Helgi, I want to hear your argument because we're trying here. We're here to talk about what we must do to beat Tottenham. So who do you think pairs Enzo in the midfield? Let's hear your argument.
Is Kovacic fit? I think it's Kovacic.
His feet. He plays the last game, but I don't think he's fully fit. But your argument. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is that we don't have much. You don't have many choices now in terms of quality. Going with Ruben would be quite risky, and considering Kova hasn't had his best season for us. I think I regard him so highly, and I would be extremely disappointed if we don't get involved in contract negotiations with him. But considering that Tottenham don't have Bentancur tomorrow, which is a very useful source of energy for them in midfield, then I think it's another reason, although indirect, to go with Kova as Enzo's partner. Zakaria has had his injury, and I don't think he is ready to start, especially in a game that is expected to be intense. And Potter confirmed that Kante, this game comes too soon from Golo, so it's we can't count him now. And it's both a blend of a limited amount of choices, and also the fact that Tottenham missed Bentancur, that I think that Kova should partner Enzo. I don't know how well he will perform, because he has had a number of games that maybe hasn't been that bad, but for his standards and for what we have been seeing from Kova, the way he carries the ball, how press resistant he is, how well he can connect the lines and stuff. His technical abilities is so good when he is at his best. So I don't think we have any other option in this regard. So would go with Enzo and Kova.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about. I don't think Enzo and Kova. I don't think they complement each other very well. If anything, they're actually more similar. Again, it's just that Enzo is more defensively sound than Kovacic, because the whole thing is about getting a player who, when you pair that player with Enzo, that player will be more disciplined, and Enzo will have the independence to be more adventurous, because he can do more. I'm coming. Let me make my point. I'm coming. Okay. If Enzo if he has the independence to be more adventurous, he gets closer to the final third. The more he gets closer to the final third, he can get you goals, he can get you more assists. I know he's capable of doing that even from deep in the midfield. So Kovacic isn't the guy. So once Kovacic is a pairing for Enzo, which means Enzo would have to be the one to be more disciplined, which means Kovacic will be the one to have the independence to be more adventurous, and he cannot get you goals. He gets one every 50 years. And chance creation also, he gets to get one chance again. He creates one chance every 2 years, but he still has what he brings to the table that no other player at Chelsea brings to the table. So I think if Zakaria is fit, I wouldn't say again he's capable of fulfilling the traditional DM role. If he's paired with Enzo, which means he'd be more disciplined, and Enzo will have the independence to be more adventurous, create more chances, and score more goals. But I want to get your argument.
I think would be a catastrophe, actually, because I don't trust Zakaria to play as a DM.
So it's about you not trusting him.
No, I trust him maybe in the role he has been playing when Jorginho was here. Zakaria had the license to even go forward, and when he made those mistakes, he lacks composure in some moments. I have watched him, and I'm still undecided whether we should take that permanent option or not for him, because he has shown like very good signs in terms of how dynamic he can be, how progressive he can be when he has the ball, how well suited he has been with the nature of the league, and that's very important. But sometimes I see that he is risky in terms of decision making, takes a touch or two more, and this can be very costly when you lose the ball if you are a lone six. Even if you don't consider it a lone six because we are playing with a double six in a pivot, still it will still restrict Enzo from going forward if Zakaria isn't disciplined enough in that role. And so far, I haven't seen enough from Zakaria to be trusted, especially in this kind of game against a team with many attackers that can counter press and counter attack very well. To be trusted with the number six role. So even at his previous clubs, he was very good in a more advanced position, more than as a box to box that he has been playing now. But the tricky thing is Jorginho's departure, and that's why I pressed on it, because we sold him and we didn't really get an upgrade on him on his replacement, because Enzo, as you mentioned, is more suited to playing closer to the attack rather than closer to the defense in terms of creating and delivering those passes similar to what he did against West Ham for Felix goal. So it's a case of trying to, even if we play Zakaria and Enzo, let's say that he goes with these two in terms of personnel, I think that Enzo will still have the defensive responsibilities and Zakaria will be the further one forward, because I don't think that we'll trust Zakaria as a deeper midfielder, especially considering that he's coming back from an injury and against Tottenham. So the circumstances aren't ideal, and we have to adapt with what we have, and the best way of adaptation in terms of personnel for me is Enzo and Kola.
Go ahead, okay, but I get your argument. Let me cut to what we have in the chat. Look at my friend here, Constantine, fighting me. Constantine, so you're joining the Helgi gang, Helgi and Bobby 5V gang. He's saying defensive solidity for relegation battle. Yeah, but good one there. Zakaria and Enzo, I still think Zakaria and Enzo, because here's the thing, Helgi. I know you believe, and I know you know this is the truth. The reason why we see a certain player play so badly under one manager and play again and become world class under another comes down to the manager's demand. The managers can demand that Zakaria be more defensively minded. We've seen him play on three occasions for us. One of which he was he was adventurous. He was bumping forward. One, he was very reserved in his approach, and indeed, again, he was the guy that broke up play. He was the person that read the game quite well and made sure we didn't concede. Again, he protected the defense very well, but unfortunately, he didn't finish that game. I think he got injured. But that's, by the way, let's again, Mudryk has not done anything that says, again, he should start ahead of Stalin. Watch Graham, again, being the Laden fumbled the bag again. Let's see what he does again. I hate saying your name, brother. I must tell you. Okay, Jesus Christi. Good evening. Let me just pronounce it that way. I hope you're doing well, brother. How are you doing, Coach? I am well. I can't complain. Big match today. Okay, it's today for you already. To me, I have about, again, up to about 10 hours or more together. It's still 2:07 p.m. Saturday in my place. Again, big match today. Again, let's hope we turn things around. Our season starting tomorrow. Yep, the first day for us for the rest of the season. If we win, it will go a long way. I would like to buy a Sancho from United and put him on the right wing. He hasn't even actually performed consistently for United. Why should we go for him? Our defense is the only consistent thing about this team. And yeah, again, I want to see Chukwuemeka paired with Enzo. And Zakaria come off the bench. Here's the thing. I'm not really quite sure where Chukwuemeka fits in this team. To me, he's more of an 8 than a deep line midfielder. I don't think I think you'll be wasting his talent if you play him as one of the 2-6s. Given the little I've seen and from his highlights, I think he's more of an 8 or even a 10 than a 6. I say again today because again I come from East, and Sunday started 1 minute ago. Okay, now I understand. Okay, bro. Again, if Enzo cannot do job box to box again, fully adapt again, he's not worth buying. I swear. Okay, again, yes, Enzo needs again to push more forward. So probably Zakaria to sit back, and everything comes down to the demand of the manager. Cannot Kante when he's back. Kante, it will be the perfect pairing. Kante is the guy that will help us unleash Enzo. Even though Kante isn't again, is traditionally an eight, but again, his ability to read the game, his ability to break up opposition play, which again simply means if he gets paired with Enzo, he'd be the more disciplined of the two while Enzo will have the independence to be more adventurous, and that will go along with Kante when he's back. Yep. No. Zakaria again Zakaria was awesome again on DMF again on World Cup, excellent. He I don't want to read something that's going to confuse me. And big up to my bros again, Ankit from Almighty Blues FC. Always nice to see you, my bro. Again, my brother from another mother. Much love. And people, if you're watching, if you haven't, can click on the three dots by his name. Go check out Almighty Blues FC and Almighty Sports Plus. Believe me, you will not regret it. He has the best trivia show in all the Chelsea community. And if you feel like you know Chelsea quite well and can participate in the show and do well, let him know. Again, Ankit again is the man. Much love to you, brother. No, again, wrong about what you can just say. No, Zakaria has been our best DM. You could say that. Again, would you trust Chalobah as a DM? Nope. Again, Chalobah is a good defender, and I want him to continue there. I wouldn't risk playing him as a DM. I don't think he has what it takes to fulfill that role very well. Again, with all due respect, Zakaria and Enzo, again, is that Rice? Is that Rice, Enzo? Is that RLC Enzo? Again,
RLC.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek. RLC Enzo should be a better pairing than Kante and Kovacic again playing again. Despite again me being a fan of the latter. Yeah, I get the argument there, but we'll see what Graham Potter does. You know him quite well. Zakaria at DM was brilliant in the first full game he played for us. You're mistaken on underestimating Zakaria at pivot. He brings more again enterprise and dynamism than Kova. Yeah, again he'd be a better pairing with Enzo than Kovacic will be. Kova brings ball control. Kova again plays no matter how the opposition. Again, how they press us. Again, he's good at progressing the ball no matter the situation, and he can find solutions in tight spaces. The only thing he needs to improve is his shooting and in chance creation. I prefer also Enzo and Kova because of more creativity. Yeah, I get that argument again, but which means Enzo has to sit deep because Kova defending isn't his strongest suit. Look, again, we have to go for it again. Because only a win would do. A draw is not going to help again that much. It will not again. If anything, it heightens. You can say the toxicity in the Chelsea community right now. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream, and if you haven't, make sure to subscribe. If you haven't, the likes do go along with. More importantly, call me JC. Yeah, I'd go with JC. I hate calling you Chad. Jesus Christ. And you know, good evening from my end in Liberia, Coach Mark James. Nice to see you, bro. How are the Liberians doing? I hope they're all good. Carney is not in number 6. Yep, similar to Gallagher and Andre Santos. Yep, Carney, if anything, it's not even box to box. Carney is more of an 8 or a 10. If that makes sense. Again, I don't trust a Chalobah even on the bench. Well, that's you. Felix masterclass incoming. I want to see that. Francis Winters is a player, and I'm happy that he wants to stay. Again, the fans again sang him. They have a chance for him, and he's loving life in London. Hopefully, we get Champions League because I don't think we'll be able to keep him if we're not going to be part of the next edition of the Champions League. If that makes sense, bragging rights up the Chelsea. We have to win that one. Kante and Kovacic have won a lot together, proven pairing. Good. We must remember Enzo will not play every game. Otherwise, we'll run into the ground. So again, when he stopped playing, I wouldn't mind a convo of Kovacic either Kovacic with Kante or Kovacic with Zakaria. I think it will work. I think we've seen Kovacic actually with Zakaria, and it did work. Correct me if I'm wrong. If we want to win or dominate against Spurs, let's play a three midfielders like a 4-3-3 and play Felix as a false nine. Again, a midfield of Enzo, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Zakaria or Kova is not playing again two mid. We're gonna get exposed. Then who creates the chances? That's the question I want to ask you. Coetis, why is he Coetis? Who creates the chances? Because you could say Felix now is the most creative player we have, except if we can have Ziyech, who's capable of finding any player that makes a good run, if that makes sense. Enzo been looking a little clueless again, really. Kante and Kovacic will be better with three centre backs in behind, since both likes to roam and not just a sit. Again, Zakaria, Enzo, Loftus-Cheek, and Enzo can sit a bit more. But I hear you again. If you want more from Enzo, again, yeah, maybe if, not necessarily an 8. Just give him the independence to be more adventurous. And again, of the 2 6s, let him be the one with the license to bump forward. JC says again, Chalova has had a second decent season. Only in one game, he was a little shaky again. But the question is, after the World Cup, why didn't Graham Potter start him? So I just don't understand. Chukwuemeka, I mean, he has a strength and he's quick than all the usual midfielders. But again, he's not. We haven't seen him. So I'm gonna come to you again, Helgi. Let's talk about an argument. Make an argument. Who starts on the right hand side? Since you said you prefer Raheem Sterling starting over Mudryk on the right wing back position, who do you prefer to start? Make an argument for the person.
For the right wing back. Sorry.
Right wing position, yeah, right wing position. Assuming we go with
right
the 4 at the
yeah,
back.
I said I'd go with Madueke if we play Felix up top. If he goes with Havertz, I think Ziyech would be more appropriate due to having a tall striker in front. But if we play with an interchangeable attack, then I don't think Ziyech starting would be right, because his best weapon is delivering those crosses towards the far post. And if we play with Sterling, Madueke, and Felix, which would be my preferred choice, then it means that we'll play a lot on the ground rather than aerially. So it will clearly be the most logical choice for the attack, in my opinion.
So you said Madueke is the most logical there.
Yeah,
and that's especially too if they defend deep, because Ziyech's passing ability or passing range is only effective when there's space in behind the opposition defensive line. So you make the run, he finds you. But without space, Madueke will be the better option because he's capable of driving with the ball. So good argument right there. Almighty Blues FC, again, we have already made a Kai less confident by playing persistently, playing him as a number 9. Sure, again, Felix should be more involved attacking again midfield at least. Yeah, that's my argument. The Enzo is perfect modern defensive midfielder. You could argue that he has everything. Ziyech versus Sport is just for last year's vibe. I think he'd have the confidence to play against him, given that he's always done well against them. And that delicious goal he scored from outside the box, I will never forget that. Mudryk, Felix Sterling will be lethal. Spiritus status, again, that's prayer. I don't think Ziyech has his heart at CFC anymore, but he's there. He's on our books. If he's training well and the manager feels like he's going to play, then I'd play him. But that's, by the way, let's talk about the number 9 position, Helgi. Make an argument. Who do you think starts?
Joao Felix, because we need.
What if he's again? Let's assume that Felix is deployed as a 10. Again, yeah, we have space of either Kai Havertz playing as a 9 or maybe Dacho Fofana. Your argument. Who do you think starts there?
But if Kai, I wouldn't go with Kai, as I said, because I don't think it would be effective considering what I have seen, and considering we play a team that sits deep, then we need to find spaces to break them through centrally, because they will try to overload the wide areas, and playing Ziyech and trying to find Havertz with crosses may be horribly ineffective. So in my opinion, we need Felix as a 9. Actually, it's an interchangeable from 3, with Sterling playing as an inverted left winger, something that he has done even before, even for us under Thomas Tuchel, and Madueke as the right winger. So this is my front three, and I think it's all on the argument basing on the interchangeability of these three attackers and the opposition that we are playing, who, as you mentioned, are expected to sit deep and playing a game focused on width and crosses with them may not be the right approach to the game. We have to dominate the center and to find as many spaces as possible between through the channels, actually, between the space covered by the wing backs and the back three, respectively, on the left and the right. So I think Felix, Sterling, and Madueke would be the right front three in general. So as a 9, I would go for Felix based on his reasoning.
So why do you again you don't trust Patrick Fofana? What do you think about him? What do you make of him?
No, it's not that I don't trust. I have got good signs from him from what I saw against Fulham. He is so aggressive, and also against Southampton is, but he feels a bit raw, and I think he needs a loan. So as I have been telling you about Broya in the summer, that I thought that he needed a loan. I'm in the same stance that these are kind of players that you shouldn't pressure a lot, whether directly or pressurize them directly or indirectly. Indirectly, it can be damaging to their further development. So it would be good for him to polish and to be less raw in an environment where he can develop and then come here better. He has the aggression, and also on the counter, he showed some glimpses of very good ball retention, both against Fulham and Southampton. But I don't think it's enough for me to go with him from the start, and I don't think we will.
Hmm. All right. Again, all my listeners again, Anke says I agree with Helgi on the right wing reasoning. It's all about partnership. We are trying to build a Kai in Ziyech or Felix in Madueke. I prefer the first option. Here's the thing. My reasoning is that I think Tottenham would defend it and would want us to come out there so they get a chance and hit us on the break. Which means if they defend deep, Ziyech on the pitch will be useless.
Absolutely,
There has to be space in behind the
the
defensive line of
defense.
the opposition for Ziyech to be effective. So in that sense, Madueke will be the most effective on the pitch because he's good at carrying the ball and you can muscle him off the ball easy. He's a good dribbler too. That's my reason, but I understand where how he is coming from. Correction, I don't think Ziyech again has his heart at Chelsea FC anymore. I think so. The same too. Correction. Okay, you want more correction again? Mudryk pace on the right and Stalin cut inside on the left. Maybe that's what we'll see tomorrow. Alba, considering his ex Arsenal too. We don't know the situation of Alba at Chelsea right now. We don't know if it be on the bench actually. What must Chelsea and Potter do? This one is funny. From Logic Don. Logic, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. It says, what must a Chelsea and Graham Potter do to beat a Tottenham? He says, score more goals than them. It's simple.
It's football.
Yeah,
It's a simple game, yeah.
yeah, logic again, good logic there. Again, I say again, start Alba, but Potter again comes in and shuts me up and starts
Mhm.
Kai. Again, I'd be surprised if either Kai or Mason Mount doesn't play. And that brings to mind the next question I want to ask you in a bit. And this is Saturday, so today is again our daily roundup show. It may be a bit longer if Helge has time. I hope he does. Alba, it's toxic. Again, I would like to see Alba at least once again once starting with Mudryk, Felix and Starlin. Okay, Mudryk space on the yeah, I've read that when you said it before. Kachila again, when is Kante playing? Probably next month. And Kevin Morira, I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Lusala, thank you so much again. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Again, here's what I want to ask you now, Helgi. The question I want to ask you: do you see a space? Do you see again how Mason Mount fits into the current Chelsea squad? Or do you think it's over for him? Because it's serious. On 3 occasions now, we've done the lineup building exercise and don't even remember he's still a Chelsea player. We did not even, and on 2 occasions, Porter himself had benched him, and it wasn't like he was injured, right? Two important games, Porter has benched him, and only he
Dortmund
started
and
again.
West Ham.
Sorry,
Dortmund and West Ham.
yeah, exactly. So, your thoughts? Do you think he has a place in this team, or do you think that's it for him?
I have been
Because
persistently.
remember,
Yeah,
Nkunku is still coming in,
yeah.
which means the 10 area again is will be again occupied. That is, if we end up signing Felix on a permanent, I don't see the space for him. But you go ahead. I want to see your argument. If you're in the chat, I want to get your argument. Do you think Mason Mount still has a place in this current the Chelsea team? Go ahead, Helgi.
Well, I have been much more cautious on him, even when things look bright, because many people actually, even last year, were putting him in the same bracket as Reese, which for me has been completely wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I try to be as objective as possible. You know, sentiments don't help anybody in this kind of situations. So for me, the most logical option has always been, and at this point is getting stronger and stronger, to cash in now, because bad form doesn't last 18 months. Like it may happen when you have a bad injury or something like having the ACL problem or broken leg, and you know these kind of injuries that are very that need a lot of time to for a player to get back and then to also to join the group. But he has been fit, and although some may argue that he has been tired and stuff, I know that he has played a lot, but he has never been irreplaceable. He has been a good player in the first season for the club. He contributed to our Champions League success. No one is taking it away from him. But at least since the turn of the year last season, he hasn't been in the right level, and you can't argue that. You know, um, it has been a case of underwhelming performances week in week out, and also his best traits, which can be the work of the ball and stuff. I don't see it anymore now, because you can see the media. He's demanding, you know, an increase of wage, and it's the players' right in general to demand this because it's a professional job at the end of the day. But I don't think that he is in a position to ask for that now, because as you mentioned, Kuku is arriving, players are getting signed, and I like the fact that the club aren't budging. I'm not in favor in offering a 7-year contract at the first place, because you have to merit it, and he has been doing it, you know, for the first reason. Now the media attention towards him, I think he is damaging his possible progress, and it has previously happened with other players that are English. You know, Dele Ali had a lot of talent and he seemed a very static player, but he got into that bubble of the media, and now he plays in Turkey, and he sits on the bench there. Theo Walcott has had a similar, you know, trajectory of the career, and Mount, I feel, is a in a same position. Now I totally respect people who can think differently to me, but I'm used to judging players based on what X player gives to Chelsea first team, rather than the previous, you know, background of on this situation. I know he has been an academy boy and all of that, but it has to be a point where things have to be, you know, explicitly detached, and based on this reason, I think that it would be logical for the club, not just from the footballing point of view, and I think we can easily replace him, but also from a financial point of view. We spent a lot, so we need to balance the books, and he would be a very good option if we can get a decent sum for him. be a very good option for us to help in this regard. So yeah, my answer is I don't see a place for him in this team.
So you think again? So your argument basically is like he's most likely to leave than stay at Chelsea.
Well, I can't predict that because these things are very dynamic and you don't know what to expect. There are things that we saw how it happened with Golo Kante, that everybody was saying that he is very likely to leave. Some were saying it's 50-50 and now he's very close to renewing. But what I think that should happen is this. Now, if it will, let's see. But I don't want the player to impose demands on the club on whatever basis. I'm a Chelsea fan first and foremost, and seeing a player that, particularly when he has been underperforming, to demand, a wage close to what Reese is getting or even higher, because I don't know how legitimate the reports have been. But now it's being spread that he's asking that, so it's not fitting to the club's new policy that they are trying to put players on a consider so relatively low wages first and then help them build the reputation and get there through the work they are doing rather than giving them straightforward. And so there is a strong disproportion between what Mount is currently doing on the pitch, not just currently, but during all these 18 months, and what he is demanding. So he is not coherent with his demands from my own perspective. I'm not saying that everybody should think in this way because it's a matter that can cause debate. But yeah, I'm firm in this idea.
All right, let me catch up with the chat again. Have to write that. I'm not sure what Glenn is referencing. I think since Chelsea cannot score goals, the best thing to do is to stop Spurs. Is to deploy a back three. Okay, I think I've lost that battle. Again, we are okay if we don't put four players. Then Havertz, Mount, Gallagher, and Cuckoo. A large tech. Okay, I get the argument. The only place Mount can sneak in may be the right wing, and even in that area, there's no exact space really. Only reason for Chelsea players, Mason Mount 100% has a place in this squad. Just needed to sort the contract situation first. Again, here's the thing about the contract situation is that the more it winds down, the more again the possibility the possibility of him leaving increases, rather than again him staying. Dele Ali's a problem is head. I'm not sure what you mean by that. CFC struggled with injuries because last season CFC played most games in Europe, but next year, if there is no Europe, a lot of players will be surplus to requirement. Wow, I guess that's what you're trying to say. Again, these owners were cashing in Mount. It's looking like more likely that's going to be the case. Let's see what's happened. They just lost money. Dele Ali was a menace. Nothing compared to
I
Mount
was just to
as a
clarify that because
personality, in my opinion.
I wasn't trying to compare the personalities. I was just saying that there is a tendency in the media to, instead of being fair in terms of criticism and praise at the same time with young players, there is you know, a sort of way trying to convince the critics that listen, you can't critique this guy because you can't criticize him because it's you don't understand this, you don't understand that, and the similar thing happened to Dele Alli at a certain point of his Tottenham years. So it wasn't a comparison of personalities at all because I don't know much of that.
All right.
It's just to point out that he's developed a situation where it come to a point that the media, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, hasn't done well to his possible career projection. So that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, again, if you're asking what is a daily roundup show about, it's a show where every evening we can, after some research, bring everything that has happened that again that was in the news regarding Chelsea Football Club. Again, dissect it, break it down, make it concise, present it to you, hear your opinion, you hear our opinion. But again, we're talking about today. There wasn't much to talk about. We decided to discuss what Chelsea must do to beat Tottenham, if that makes sense. Again, amount again, as personality, in my opinion, I think Dele Again, he was brilliant when he was on. Americans, let's see what we have again. Just to remind, CFC and Liverpool played the most amount of games in calendar 2021-22, and it looks like they're paying for it right now. In Europe, lots of injuries. Again, Constantine Dante Mount needs to play as a 10 to get best out of him, really. Again, Luka Mudryk, uh, yeah, again, we need to fund the Felix transfer. I
Yeah,
think the
good
club
point.
wants him,
Good point.
but more importantly, and we have an edge. Again, we have the edge again in terms of pursuit of his signature over other clubs that want to sign him because he's happy and he's developing more. He's developing bond with players. So, but we have to have Champions League football before that happens. Mount again has attitude problems. Mount Sell again, Shaxton Mount has attitude problems too. Only his again admirers don't see it. I don't think he has attitude problem. How would you know? I don't know. Liverpool will replace Milner with Mount.
Yeah.
I think it's an improvement to Milner, actually. Big up, coach. Do you think Fafana should start tomorrow? Two things. Do I think he should start tomorrow? Yes, I think he should start. Do I think Graham Potter will start in tomorrow? I'd say no. We're probably going to see Kai Havertz there. If he starts tomorrow, I'd be surprised. Run up the likes, people. We have 36 likes. Let's get it to 40 likes as soon as possible. I don't think we'll have too much time to again to stay here. I don't want to keep Helge awake. I know it's late where he is. No, we don't want a player who wants. How do you know he wants that money? If we're being honest, I get it. How do you know he wants £300,000? And who don't deserve that money? His not character. We will have again problems with him. But let me know how you know he wants that money. Do you reckon we should target Tottenham from the middle, or again the park, middle of the park, or their wing backs? Again, I think we'll find space in behind their wing backs. But here's the thing: they're so well drilled. They're so well drilled again in the way they play. Their wing backs are so cautious. It's usually difficult to find them wanting. I don't know if you get my point, Heavy. They're so well drilled. Again, I don't think it's easy to get their wing backs again wanting in terms of you going behind them.
Typical for contest teams, you know.
Yeah, for contest teams, yeah. I don't know how he is able to do that.
And that's why I favor the argument that we should play with a flexible front
With a
three,
fluid,
so
again,
we
with
can
a
find
fluid
spaces
front
to
line
defend,
rather than yeah.
and especially considering that Bentancur is missing, so it's logical to play them through the center, through the middle of the park, in my opinion.
Yeah, how we've been playing, we've been relying on individual brilliance. Again, we haven't got style of play going into this game, and we need to create our chances. We need to take our chances. We got again to have our shooting boots on. Here's the thing. Yeah, it sounds easy, but let's see what happens. Glenn says again, we don't need to fund the Felix transfer. Bali has again a goose that lays golden eggs. Okay, so it won't cost us that much. Again, Mount does not want it. His contract. We don't know what the issue is. Some people say it's the length of the contract, so you may well be correct. Yeah, again, but there's a chance Felix will not want to stay here again if we're not playing in Europe
That's my
and
fear.
we continue this way again to the end of the season. Yeah, it'd be difficult to convince him to stay. Helgi, were you saying something?
Yeah, I said it yesterday when we talked about his squad, and I said that one of the reasons why I wanted us to part company with Potter is that I fear a change of mind from Felix if we can show that we are fine with this run of form. If it continues, then it can be a problem if another established club can go for him and try to change his mind. And I am at the point now that I wholeheartedly want us to get him on a permanent. So don't want his possible signing to be jeopardized by, you know, like kind of saying this season is a write off, because you never have you can't write off a season as long as you are playing in different competitions. So it's not a convincing argument from my point of view, and I don't want it to impact in a negative way, the current stance of Joao Felix.
All right, again, my line of prediction says this CFC 4-2-3-1. Kepavis, again, James Silva, Badiashile, Chilwa, Zakaria, Enzo Sterling, Felix Mudryk, and Fofana. And JC says again, in matches between the top teams, it is usually small details that matter. Yep, yep. Excellent. And again, from you, but I wouldn't call Spurs a top team. Okay, again, coach, again, when can you let me come on? You can, but not this one. This one is only again the Blue Money show. You can come on, but this one is a two-panelist show, and that person must be on camera. This one doesn't go beyond again two panelists, and you have to book your day to come on if you can be on camera. Felix said again he never got a chance at Atletico Madrid after one game with Chelsea. He got a chance. And plus, again, he has the independence. He plays differently. He has the freedom to enjoy his football. He said that too. Is Atletico the Madrid player right now? Okay, they just chanted Felix, Felix, Felix. That's a lot. Did they do that at Atletico Madrid? No. So, Helgi, coming to you, the final question is this: what sort of game do you expect tomorrow?
What kind of game?
Yeah, what sort of game match
Oh, yeah.
do you expect?
Okay, because um, well, it's tough to predict because we both teams come from different situations, and although Spurs have been unconvincing away at home, they have managed to grind out results, even against Man City. Even when they are at their best, they still, have had that edge during the season. While we must react, the draw is absolutely unacceptable at this point, because at the end of the day it would be with 2 wins in 16 games. It's even when you think about it, it's horrible. So I expect us to try to dominate possession, but I don't know how effective we will be in terms of creating chances. And what I want to see is composure when we have the ball, because what I fear is more on ourselves, right, rather than Spurs, as we are showing that we are still not recycling the ball well enough, and against this kind of team they can easily punish you if you make a passing mistake. Even how fluid you may be, the most fluid team in the world, they still know how to get on the counter because they are very solid at the back. So what I expect is, optimistically, is us having a lot of the ball and exploiting them through the center, because I don't know how much space we'll have in wing areas. That's why I wanted us to play with a 3-4-2-1 formation. But in a negative, the worst I fear is us trying to control possession but failing to do this well, and they hitting us on the counter, which can be devastating against this kind of opposition. So I'll go with the optimistic part and say yes, we can try to control it, try to have a quick start, because it's very important in this kind of games to gain the momentum. It's a derby, and we can build on that momentum. So an early goal for us can be massive in terms of building on that and trying to sustain the pressure. And tomorrow is a big test from any kind of perspective, a mental test, a tactical test, and also a test in terms of how sustainable we'll be, which has been one of our biggest problems under Potter, especially in these last games, that we show something on fragments based on individual brilliance alone, and then when it runs out, we get back to our lethargic and pedestrian, chaotic. We can call it whenever we want the in terms of structure. So we want sustainable way of playing, to be clear on possession, to be compact, and to prevent counter attacks as much as possible. So that's what I want. That's what I optimistically want. But it's a bit unpredictable from a neutral point of view.
Yeah, just quickly, just pay attention to this one. Again, Obafemi, again, 11, my Niger brother. You remind me of Obafemi Martins. I love them so much. We still cannot get top four. Again, Liverpool draw a sack Potter. Let me ask you this quickly. Given this statement by my Nigerian brother Obafemi there, do you think we can actually make top four? So if you have any question, if you're in the chat, I hope, Helge, I hope you still have time. We'll have a few minutes. We can take your questions. Let's round off with that. We've talked about everything. we think we need to do to beat Tottenham tomorrow. So, how you again, being truthful here, do you think we can make top four? I want to get your thoughts on that.
It's 1% of chance actually. It's very
Zero or one?
now solely based on what we have seen in the games leading to this point. It's not like um, of course football is unpredictable and you don't know many things especially in the Premier League that the dynamism of the league is incredible. Like you can make there are many possibilities to have different places in different, you may be in different scenarios in different periods, and you can't predict at this point what will happen in May. But only mathematically we are still in the race. The other aspects are, aren't in our favor, logically speaking. And it's the first time in all these years that I say that it's unlikely to happen. And I don't want to be more dramatic than needed, but I don't even feel that if we continue this way, we can get a European competition at the end of the day, and let alone getting in the top four. So I don't know. I think maybe some people won't like it, but I still think that a managerial change would refresh the dynamics of the season and make us start from zero. If we continue this way, then why should we write the season off? And what kind of impact it would have in the other signings? So you know, things are very well connected in football, but based on where we are and how bad we have been with the performances and results alike, I don't see, room for us to get into the top four. You know how difficult it is. What I don't like is people saying that this season is the right top four races become stronger, and this is an argument I've gone against. I may be in the minority here, but they've been saying that Liverpool aren't like last year, so they have regressed in a sense. Tottenham aren't as compact as people may have predicted them to be under Conte. Newcastle are good, but still they are, let's say, a bit inexperienced in this particular situation. So it's very intriguing to see how um, how will they sustain the pressure till May. Man City have their own problem. Of course, they will finish top four, but still, Man United are improving, but they aren't the finished product yet. So, except Arsenal, you don't have a team that has sustainably improved, and that's why I totally disagreed with people saying that top four has become stronger in a sense that we are completely out of it. Like I think if we had been 50% more effective that we are, we could have had a push at least. But I think it's too little, too late at this point, and I'm doubtful whether we can go we can qualify for European competition at the first place, rather than and let alone playing a Champions League. So the chances are minimal. Although I don't like saying it, and I hate saying that, we have to be objective and realistic.
Yeah, again, let's get it. Let's catch up with what we have in the chat. I think we should call it a day with that one, except if we see any questions to address. As again, if we can keep track of Kane and Son Sports will have to find a goal somewhere else, where again, which is not easy. Again, I think it's going to be again, a very fast pace, again, a very fast start. Crowd is going to be loud. It's going to feel like a final. That's what I want to see. But again, are we going to play like we're playing in the final? Are we going to play like we're playing in the derby? That's what I don't know. But Bafemi might not for a second. If we sack Potter now and get a proper manager, we can have a big squad of talented players. Let me see. Again, not making a top four. Uh, Again, not making top four with stat Potter has had. Again, expect the worst. That way, you will be less disappointed. I get it. Yeah, I get it. You better get it. Again, I bought a pay again to players to say good things on social media or interviews. Okay. Again, our academy players would beat Southampton if they are bottom of the table. Get this again. Again, Porter, PE teacher out. I guess that's what you're saying there. Get Todd Bowley out. Todd Bowley isn't going anywhere. All about my brother. But that's by the way. I don't think we have again anything else to talk about here. You have anything else you want to talk about, Helgi, or should we call it a day?
No, just to just enjoyed it again, and hopefully we'll have a great performance and result on more to because
Yep.
we
Hopefully, again, if not for your school, again, and hopefully you start Frankly Friday again. But we may have to change the name. It's something more. It's long, but it's if you like it, you go ahead with it. And hopefully you have time because I enjoy. You and I have good chemistry on the panel. Hopefully, again, you have time. But again, I like you to prioritize your studies. Porter to Aubameyang could be like, you are a failure. You are a failure. You will never, you will never make it. I know that comedy sound again, your Niger voice and all that you're referencing. With that, I want to say thank you to my bro Helgi. It's been an excellent discussion, and again, the show is growing really fast. I think that the first one we did, I think, probably has 1,000 views right now and 70 plus. I think 70 plus likes, and this one now has 44 likes, 674 views. That's what I'm seeing in the back end, and I know that will still improve. So I want to say thank you to you, Helgi, and I'll try not to forget to add your credentials so that people can check you out if they want to. But you can also go follow Helgi. See his Twitter handle here. If you check H Lazana, which is at HL again
L.
HLL H
Yeah.
capital L small L OZA again ZANA. You will find him, but I'll try not to forget to add his information in the description section. Again, Dante fought me today. Dante says we will see what pressure, intensity, passion players bring tomorrow. If Porter cannot fire them up for the derby, then that will tell us again that again he doesn't care about the team. And again, nice evening, coach. Again, good luck to the team. Yeah, thank you again, JC and Dante. Thank you so much. And Dante again here says again, take care, coach. Everyone, take care. You too, Chimera. Take care. Bafemi, my manager, brother. Take care. See you tomorrow for another daily roundup show. Eugene Naughty, again, one of the best contributors here, always typing. And my brother Glenn, much love to you. Again, I hope to see you again next time. And everyone else, if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.